Let's go ahead
We can
and
get started. Yeah.
get started.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What is today? Friday, August the 5th, 2022.
Right.
Lloyd, you want to start us off? Here's Chris. So we'll just get started in just a minute
Okay,
here.
yeah, it's Lloyd Allender and John Lee with St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. Today, sitting in for Kathy, who's usually with us on the first of the month. We've got Chris Basler from the same Davis Travaglini LLC. So with it, Chris, can you give us an update of what's going on in the courts?
Good morning. I assume what Kathy's been filling you in on is kind of what's been going on. Not a whole lot's changed. Everything's pretty much back to normal, albeit at a slower pace and really especially for St. Louis City. But frankly, the county is completely back to normal. I'm sure Kathy told you in June they switched over at least to completely in person. So they're going completely full bore. Everything's kind of back to normal. The city is still doing hybrid dockets where some of the stuff's in person, some of it's virtual, which slows things down a lot. Just if you happen to be jumping on there, you'll see these dockets take hours to get through. The biggest thing that's different than before COVID now is just navigating all the safer money. I mean, that is just, running into some, new issues that we've never come across. I recently took on a case where we filed a rent and possession suit because my client came, certain things were owed, and we got the gal moved up voluntarily, but now she's got an attorney who says, well, that everything we said was wrong because he applied safer money from January to utilities, and therefore she didn't really owe rent, and it's a big fight. So I would say that's the biggest new thing that you as a landlord would have to deal with, is making sure when you're applying for safer money, and I do it, my advice is still to go for it because it may be the only way that you're going to get money, and it's, keeping people in your properties who otherwise are good tenants. It's not a bad idea. But whenever you do these processes, making sure you know what you're signing, making sure you're including everything, making sure you know what months the money's coming in for, and making sure you're applying it correctly so you don't get yourself in trouble. Because one thing that happens with new law out there or new circumstances is there will become attorneys who will decide to make it their job to try to make money off of mistakes made from new things. So I'm sure there will be more people getting sued for misapplying safer funds by these attorneys trying to be opportunistic and make a buck off of it. So it's, read what you sign when you do these applications. It'll tell you certain things you can and cannot do with the money, certain things you can and cannot do with regards to evictions. And if you don't agree with it or don't understand it, don't sign it. Don't apply for the money. Don't accept the money, because until you talk to someone who can explain it to you, because you might get yourself in hot water, or you might find yourself keeping on a tenant you didn't intend to keep on because of what you agreed to. So that's the biggest hurdle we're hearing now is, and that's not to discourage you from applying for the safer. And I have had a lot of success with some of my clients, especially now that a lot of it is landlord initiated option, which makes you in control. You're not just sitting in the dark waiting for your tenant to send you an update. You can know, because you're part of the process, how long to wait, whether or not you should file, and so on and so forth. And on that note, if there is one you're waiting on the tenant to do work for, to get something done, they promise you that the rental assistance is coming, it's coming. Just because you've said you would do it does not mean you can't file a lawsuit to evict them. Because if the money comes in, great, you dismiss your lawsuit. But if it doesn't come in because the tenant either doesn't qualify or doesn't follow through and they're supposed to, there's no problem with you trying to start the process while that's going through. It really should. While there is some backlog, if you got a tenant since February, he's been telling you that money's coming, it shouldn't take that long. Something's happening on their end. And frankly, especially in the city, once you get them into court, the city has resources available to help speed the process along. And once you have a judgment that says they're going to be evicted if they don't pay by this date, that money tends to appear a lot faster once you get them into court. So it is something to to consider. I've had people call me and go, people have been promising me this money since January. And I'm like, well, you probably would have had it by now if you filed in February. So, I mean, because it's just, stuff gets to cost in the shuffle so that's the biggest difference now than what you're probably used to, is just all of the navigating the funds that are still in there. And I suspect we'll be dealing with safer funds at least through the end of the year, if not longer, because I don't think they're going to find a way to give away all the money they had. And pretty much one thing I'll say is I have not seen any tenant who owes rent get turned down from the stuff, who hasn't already gotten their year. So your tenants who may not think they qualify for it because they didn't suffer because of COVID, pretty much if they need rent money, my understanding is, unless if they've lost their job at all or had any disruption, and now they can get the money. So I've got a lot of clients who have made they probably made more money than they would have made otherwise, because they've turned themselves into safer applicants as opposed to landlords. So tenant, where they would normally have 10% of their tenants not pay their rent, now that once they start seeing them get behind, they're saying, come on in, we'll apply for safer, and then the money shows up. So as complicated as it can be, if you get yourself pretty proficient at it, maybe a time that you can get some of your more typically struggling tenants or units into regular paying units. So, but that's about it. Everything else is pretty normal. So I don't know what if you guys have any questions for me.
Yeah, Chris, this is Shandu. My question is, the landlord, we did not apply for safer, and the tenants applied themselves. So when they got the check, they endorsed to us.
Mm-hmm.
So they said the check only applies to rent. It does not apply cannot be applied to the utilities, late fees. But to us, it's the same as they paid their check to us. So it will be on the lease. It says apply to the utilities, late fees first before it applies to the rent.
Well, that's the and if it's being sent directly to you, that means you would have had to fill out some paperwork that the agency would have likely emailed to you.
We did not.
Okay,
we did not apply. They applied. They got the check directly.
So if you didn't take any part in it, meaning you didn't sign anything agreeing how the money was to be used, then my take on it would be that you are not, or and check what they sent you. There might be something in the packet that says if you accept this, this is the way.
No, they got the check. The check has nothing, says nothing. It's just a bank name. They just endorse it back and give it to us.
Well, then if that's the case, because a lot of these, this brings it back, a lot of these agencies are starting to send the checks directly to the tenants, especially when landlords either aren't refusing to participate or aren't seeing the emails. The checks are going directly to tenants. And if the check is going directly to tenant and they pay it, that's just like they're handing you cash in my mind. Because if you haven't agreed how you're going to apply the money, you can apply it to whatever, your lease says. And I usually say oldest invoice first. So it does not need to apply to rent. It's only when you actually participate and sign something agreeing to how that's going to be applied that you may get yourself in hot water where you can only apply it to rent and not to utilities or not to NSF fees or anything like that. So I think in Shen's case, I do think likely if the check is being done with no limitations, no strings attached, you applied how your lease says. I agree with you on that one. Now, that being said, if someone disagrees, if you were to say, then try to evict them, an attorney, or they could try to make that argument. And I don't know how it's going to be, exactly. I can't ever guarantee what a judge would say, but I think very least you wouldn't be in any violation of your agreement with the federal government on how you got that money. So I think if it was me, I would apply it to however, you want to apply it, late fees, utilities, rent, and however your lease says. That's how I would do it. And then, they can fight about it later. But yeah, the only way it's typically the only ones I would say have that limitations are the ones that you participate in the process on. Yeah,
that's why we don't want to apply ourselves. We just tell the tenants to apply themselves. The check sent to them directly.
Yeah, and in those cases, I don't believe you've agreed to any limitations, and I think we could win. I think we could win that in court. I can't ever guarantee how a judge is going to react. I think we'd have a pretty good fight on it. So I think I'd go with your first instinct on that one, Chen.
Okay, so Amber's got her hand up. You got a question for Chris, Amber?
Yeah, I do. So I have a tenant, and now I'm getting nervous because we are going to court in Kansas City on Wednesday for rent and possession. She went and got herself a lawyer, which is fine, and I've been dealing with a lawyer. But in this specific situation, she moved in after her uncle passed away. So her uncle technically was my tenant, and she helped me apply, and I received safer funds, right? And so she's trying to tell her lawyer that basically I received double the amount of rent I should have received for, let's say, two months. But the money in the application was for her uncle who passed away. I just let her stay there afterwards and asked her, to pay me once he passed away. And of course, now she's behind, and now I have to put her out, or evict her. So now with everything you just kind of said about making sure I apply the money correctly, honestly, I just applied it to the months that she did not pay. So I guess technically I did receive, like, let's say, for example, January, February, and March, she only paid January and February. And so technically I applied his funds to January and February. But from your perspective, that has nothing to do with her, correct? Because the agreement or the safer funds was for her uncle. It has nothing to do with her.
Well, so is she saying it should have been applied to the months that she took over? I'm curious. I'm confused.
Yes, she's trying to say I paid Amber in January and I paid Amber in February, and she received funds from Safer those months as well.
So,
But I didn't apply those in my log or my rental roll. I didn't apply those to those months. I applied them for later months.
so you applied them for March and April.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
That's fine. As long as you're saying she owes from May, June, and July and August, then I don't see what the point is. What her argument is going to be. I mean, as long as if your rent is $500 a month, if her rent is $500 a month, and for those 4 months you applied it there, yeah. I mean, I don't think she's got, I don't know what her point being is there. I don't think she's going to be successful on that. So that's not the problem. My only concern would be if I think, try to keep it and you apply it to utilities or late fees other than stuff like that, that could be an issue. But no, if you gave her credit for rent and let her stay there 2 extra months, then yeah, that's going to fail her argument there.
Yeah, I think at least I'm not dealing with her anymore. I'm dealing with her lawyer, who seems very reasonable, and she's trying to get funds from United Way to pay what she owes. And that way, when she is evicted, she doesn't owe me anything and she can go about her way. But I just say all that to say,
these lawyers are mostly trying to buy time so that their tenants can get somewhere new, and then also avoiding a judgment. So I think you're probably headed in a good direction then, assuming that.
Okay. And then my next question about that was, so her lawyer has asked for the lease, which she never signed. So a copy of the lease, my rental roll, and like a W-9, I believe that's so I can receive payment.
Yes.
But at first I pretty much told her, no, you're not getting anything. Ask your client for that information. But I kind of feel like, well, if she's working for my behalf as well, I might as well give her those documents.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised at how many tenants don't hold on to their leases. I would say a high majority of them sign the leases and don't have them. So that is not unusual. Almost every case that I'm in where a tenant is applying for rental assistance, my client we've got to provide the lease because the tenant has long ago lost track of that. And you may be surprised that the record keeping of tenants who don't pay their rent is not very decent. So no, and not to mention, he could force you to give that to him if he wanted to through the courts. He could do discovery and force you to give it to him. So you might as well just speed things up and give him that. It's not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else had a question for Chris?
I got one for him.
Sure.
I was at a meeting of wannabe investors and the likes of that. And one of the guys I was talking to was an attorney. He's a personal injury attorney. And we started talking about this. And I said, are you going to do your own evictions? And he said, no, he doesn't want to do that. So I would like to recommend your company, obviously, and just want to make sure that's okay with you guys, because it's just another body to you, isn't it?
Yeah, no, more questions like this. Yes, if you want to give our name out, we will certainly take all comments. We don't mind if they're even the PI attorneys among us. You'd be surprised the number of attorneys that represent, because I mean, frankly, their time, for the amount of money we charge and the hassle of it, their time it's easier
Yep.
to send it to us than to deal with it themselves. And not to mention, it's kind of a very specific, not that it's the most complex area of law, but it's a very statutory specific. So there's no, they don't have
Right.
time for it, and we know better than them. So yeah, I represent a number of attorneys who just, who are also real estate investors who do that. So no, we'll take everybody.
Yeah, he was shocked at the rate that you charge. So I said,
No,
okay.
that's yeah. I've never had an attorney when I tell them, I think what we charged Baca, they're always, oh, sure, yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
That's all?
Yeah. So I mean, it's it is kind of the nature of the business that we charge less than what you would, most of these folks would do, just because that's just the nature of bulk filing. It allows us to charge considerably cheaper than an attorney who would do this on a one-off. You'd probably spend $1,500 on an hourly rate doing this, where we charge $400, and that includes court costs and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
um,
Oh, yeah. I told him what all you did, and he was, and I said, I'll check and make sure that it's not an issue for anybody I know. So there you go.
all right, yeah, no,
Maybe you-
please.
Maybe you'll get some more
Appreciate
people.
it.
My pleasure. He's got a paralegal with him too, that's probably going to use you too. So
Okay, okay. I like
more
that.
the merrier.
Okay, anybody else? Any questions for Chris? I think I'll mention earlier, we got an email, John, and maybe you can confirm it. They gave us an update on, there was some ruling about landlords being responsible for the trash pickup. I'm not sure if that was I think it was in St. Louis County.
Well, I don't know about that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm in court a lot, housing court a lot with my clients who, aren't, who get cited for not having trash service. Usually that's going to be something that falls on the property owner, even if it's something, even if you happen to have a house that you anticipate you in your lease, they have the tenant responsible. Trash is something like sewer and water, if you're in the city, that I suggest you take care of, and then reflect that in your bill when you decide what your rent rate is, as opposed to making the tenants take care of it, just because it can fall back on you, the landlord, if the trash isn't taken care of, and if sewer bill is not paid. Those are the kind of things. So I generally suggest tenants pay for their gas and electric, and I guess in the county the water doesn't typically fall on the landlord, but the city it certainly does. So I don't ever want to have the tenants responsible for stuff that you as a landlord could be sued for. So just I'd say put it in the lease, estimate your bill, and then go from there. But yeah, definitely. I'm not familiar with Kathy's case, but it certainly doesn't surprise me.
Lloyd, I think that was Shalonda Webb, who's the District 4 representative for the county council, is going to introduce something like that. And so it's not a law yet, but I think it's something that she has or will introduce to the St. Louis County Council.
Okay, then it sounded like it was a county. I didn't get the whole story.
Yeah, it's surprising to me that's not already on the books, because I know every municipality up and down 70 that we deal with, all they're getting after our landlords all the time. I was in Berkeley yesterday by the trash service issue, where they went after both the client and both the owner and the property manager for.
So Lauren, yeah, it's definitely mandated in Hazelwood. So it's different municipalities, but Hazelwood, you have to. It's totally the landlord's responsibility.
Yeah, I would suspect this is probably only changing things for unincorporated St. Louis.
They're covering, if the county council is working on it, that'll cover all the other unincorporated municipalities in St. Louis County.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's a a municipality that doesn't have a trash ordinance requiring all property owners to have trash service, so.
Yeah, I thought they did. I seem to run into it a bunch.
Is that it?
With the
Okay.
water, if there's a
Yeah.
shut-off valve, they'll let you put that in their name.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, anybody else got anything for Chris while we got him online? If not, well, thank you for coming on, Chris. Thank you.
Glad to
for
do it,
Usual.
and it's good seeing everybody, and of course, and as Dwayne, like Dwayne, if you guys want to put our name out there, we'll take anybody within the.
Take all the business. That's how you make your money, is by the volume. You don't make it by the dollar, you make it by the volume.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, have a good weekend.
Thank you,
Hey,
Chris.
Chris.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Okay, anybody else wants to hang on here? We're gonna do a little networking, a little haves and wants. While you're getting your questions together or thinking about it, I'll make a few announcements. Yeah, everybody that's on our mailing list should be getting their newsletter. I got a pre-copy here because I printed it off myself. And Laura Lee, John's wife, got it off to the printer this week, so it should be coming in your mailbox. Keep an eye on your mailbox. Talking about our August the 16th meeting, our main event. We're gonna have Ted Drew's Frozen Custard starting at 6:30. And then our main speakers are gonna be Willie and Jonathan McMiller. They're sometimes known as the My Flippin' Family, stars of My Flippin' Family. They made a pilot for HGTV TV. They're two St. Louis brothers here that have been doing some rehabbing in North County. They're from North County and doing some rehabbing, and they started documenting their stories on Instagram, and they got noticed by HGTV. And so they've been using social media a lot, like similar. I'm not sure if they're using TikTok, but they probably are. They do a lot of Instagram things, and then attract some customers or their clients by have followers that they ask for input on what colors to use in the kitchen and those kind of things. And so it's kind of a open format, and glad to hear from there. Thank you, Amber, for wrangling them into speaking to us on August the 16th.
And hey, Lloyd, just an FYI, I did speak to Willie earlier this week. I texted him just to confirm he's going to be there. And he did say yes, but he did not. I did send him the write-up that you had, and he didn't respond about it. So I assume it's okay, but he didn't let me know.
I just stole it. There was another, from what from some YouTube videos that I saw, and then they did a nice interview. Since Jonathan is a graduate of UMSL. The UMSL newspaper did an article, and I read that, and that's why I stole a lot of my material. That
Okay.
I didn't make anything up. I just I borrowed some other ideas that I picked up here and there. So okay. Well, anybody got anything for us today?
Lloyd, there's something in the chat that you might want to answer.
Okay. What's in the chat? I know I got to open up the chat here.
Yeah, Lizzie, and it looks like was looking for their phone number for Chris. I just put the office number in there. That's Davis Travaglini LLC. This is the general office number. Chris has a direct line, but I think if you just call that number, they'll give you the extensions.
Yeah.
And you'll probably talk to anybody in there, but there you go. So thanks.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. Well, plus I think their office, they specialize. Well, Chris might specialize in like Jefferson County and things like that, and Kathy. And then, so depending on what the area that you're looking at, what county or what city or whatever, it might be a different attorney in the office.
Yeah, I think Chris specializes in St. Louis City and Jefferson and St. Charles County. And then Mrs. Travaglini handles St. Louis County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Kathy covers whatever, fills all the gaps and backs up. or needed. She usually does most of their PR and their higher level stuff. So. Okay.
Hey, I've got a question.
Yes,
Well,
Demetrius, go ahead.
the brain group here. I'm looking for investor-friendly banks. Does anyone know of any investor-friendly banks around St. Louis?
Well,
I can tell you what I got going on. I don't know if that's a determinant, but I got a property under contract. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in North County. And looking at options. One of the options is to buy and hold, to rent it out, and amongst some other options that I'm pursuing. But right now, I just want to try to keep everything open. So just wanted to know if there are any investor-friendly banks in St. Louis that any of you might want to shoot out there.
hey, anybody using a bank that they would recommend or using in St. Louis? All of my properties are currently in St. Charles County, and I do business with New Frontier. And they kind of limit their activities to St. Charles County. Trying to think of some other runs. Maybe somebody else can help me out that deals in St. Louis County, St. Louis City. Everybody's so cash rich, they don't need banks anymore? Wow. They're afraid they're gonna, they don't want to, they got their own little private banker. Don't want to share them. Yeah, Tim, go ahead, get your hand up. You got a recommendation for Demetrius?
Well, a couple of things, I guess. I had a question for the group, but before that, as far as the bankers, I deal primarily with Town and Country. For me, they've been great, but I live in Rolla here. I mean, my property's in St. Louis, but the one problem I did run into is they won't touch anything in North County. I don't know why, but I was looking at some property up there. Well, I don't know, a year or two ago, and there was some property I asked them to take a look at, and they said just categorically no. They want to stay away from the area, but outside of that, they've been pretty good. And while I've got the floor here, real quick, I'm in need of a tuck pointer. So if anybody's had any good luck with a tuck pointer, I'd sure appreciate a name and number.
I got a guy for you. I can put him in the chat.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
That'd be terrific. Thanks. Sorry I couldn't help you out more.
When you said Town and Country, I kind of got that.
Yeah.
That's the area where they're located, and that municipality is rather exclusive. I see Amber put First State Bank of St. Charles. Yeah, my brother used to deal with him, and he's an investor. And then okay, yeah, John mentioned one of our sponsors, JM Real Estate Capital. Their number is 844 we close. 800 we 844 we close.
We close.
Yeah, and it's that's in the chat there too. John just put in the chat. And I just happen to think of another one. I know in the past we've had I've heard good things about Pulaski. Supposed to be investor friendly.
Okay.
Are they still around? Anybody's there? Did they get bought out by somebody else?
I think they got bought out by I can't remember the name of it. It was a blue bank.
Boosie, I think it's Boosie Bank.
Boosie Bank, yeah.
Boosie Bank bought them out. Okay. I haven't seen. I know they had an office out here in St. Charles for a while, and I think Fifth Third took over that branch. I wasn't sure if they bought them out or Boosie. Okay, Boosie. yeah, it's been a while. I've been dealing with New Frontier for the last number of years, for quite a while, actually.
Okay. Well, thank you all.
Okay, glad we could help. And I think you'll put your tuck pointer out there in the chat for Tim. That'd be good. Okay, anybody else got anything?
Looks like James McLean is looking for a fence repair company. And he has in the chat there. Do you want to unmute yourself, James, and tell us exactly what you're looking for there? Can you do that? Maybe not. Little details always helps, I think, on referrals.
Okay, yeah. Well, I got a good carpenter.
Well, I had a tree fall on my fence on one back section of my fence of a 4-family flat. So I just need a reasonable repairman. And it broke 4 poles.
Hmm.
And so it's a little problem.
Oh boy. Okay.
In what area are you in?
Huh?
What part of the city or county is it?
Oh, I'm in St. Louis City.
St. Louis City, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, because I've got a carpenter, I think he likes to stay out here in St. Charles County. But
Okay.
yeah, and he's got like a 2-month waiting list. I say you probably don't want to wait 2 months.
No.
Fence fixed. Yeah, anyway, that's probably something a handyman could take care of. Just replacing a section, a couple of poles.
Do you want to share your contact information, James, on how you would like somebody to get a hold of you if they have somebody they can recommend?
Okay, then I'll put it on there.
Okay, that'd be great. That way,
Thank you.
yeah, just jot it down if anybody knows somebody that might be able to take care of that for them. That'd be very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else got anything, or you got a?
Yeah, it's David. I've got something.
Yeah.
So I got 4 rehabs in St. Louis City or by WashU. One of them is over by WashU. Kind of looking for somebody that lives in St. Louis City, wants to kind of be involved in what I would call like a rehab manager type role. Somebody to help me out with all the rehabs. I'm in St. Charles County and I don't want to have to drive every day to check on my houses. So I'm kind of looking to hire somebody that's very close by in St. Louis City to help me with my rehab. I know how to rehab. I just don't want to have to drive to the houses and check on the contractors and stuff like that, every single day. So if anybody knows someone looking for a part-time job, basically pay them an hourly wage, I guess, for it, and have them give me a call at 636-685-2990. So call David Randolph at 636-685-2990 if you want to be involved in about 4 rehabs in St. Louis City.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. In the meantime, you got any carpenters or contractor that could repair a fence that's working for you down in the city? You could refer them to James.
Hey, Lloyd,
Yeah.
regarding the fence and also the tuck porting, would Melissa be a possible point of contact? Would she know somebody or?
Possibly. Is she on here today?
No, she's not. That's why I mentioned it, but.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she'd be a good referral source. Yeah, I didn't see her either. I was thinking that's thanks for bringing that up, Jim. I can let me find her number and I'll put it in the chat there.
Yeah,
Okay.
Melissa from One Way Contracting and Roofing, is it? Right?
Yeah, one-way construction or,
One Way
yeah.
Construction and Roofing, yeah, One Way Construction and Roofing.
One-way construction, yes.
Yeah, she's got a lot of, if she doesn't do it, she's got a lot of contacts. She could probably.
Yeah, she has a lot of stuff. They have other subs that work for them, do
Yeah,
work with them. So in fact, I was hoping she'd be on there today because that little flat roof, I had talked with her about getting them out. Now I had a leak with 9 inches of rain we had last week. The main roof is leaking now. So I think it's more, I got more than just a flat roof for her crew to look at, so. I'll be giving her a call myself. In fact, I got her number from past one. But yeah, John, if you can put one-way construction and roofing up there again for us, I'll take it down too, because I need to give her a call.
Yeah, she is very busy right now, Lauren. I've been talking with her, so but
Oh,
they've got a lot of work. Yeah.
That's what I was afraid of, yeah. But hopefully I can get a tarp on it and until I can get to me. Anyway, anybody else got anything? No. Okay, well, we're open. I will, I'll just, well, I'll get, till John gets that information loaded up. Also mentioned in the newsletter, I put out, let's see, it's on the bottom of page 3. Bottom of page 3 on your newsletter, I put a little notice about our elections coming up. So I think we've got at least one member of the board of directors that's not going to be continuing on next year. So we're looking for nominations for officers for our organization. We are not for profit, and we don't pay any of our officers or directors either. So just if you've been a member for a while and you feel you got much out of our organization and want to give something back, like I said on the board, John and Jim, and who else? We got Amber's on the board here. Another Bruce has been on the board in the past. And everybody else, it's I appreciate everybody's effort that keeps this organization going. As just our volunteer effort. So if you're interested, you can contact one of us that's on the board, or just go to our website STLREIA.com, and there's a contact us place you can leave a message. Any questions, or let us know you are interested, and I'll get back with you and we can talk one-on-one about what your interests are. We can use people that are savvy on websites and want to don't mind can know how to negotiate that. We do have a webmaster that actually posts it on there, but keeping information flowing to it, keeping things up to date on the website is something that I'd be looking for a board member that would be willing to do that and able to jump in and do that kind of thing. Otherwise, just showing up at our meeting, bringing refreshments, selling books like Jim does. We're just about out of the donated materials, though, so I think
Good.
we'll just sell for frozen custard this meeting. We'll give it a rest and give Jim a rest this month, and I'll let him distribute the frozen custard.
Yeah, I'll do the frozen custard this time, and then next time, if we don't have very many books, they're all going to be on the free table.
We'll be on the free table. Okay, we can do it that way. Although I am going to the book fair this afternoon out here in St. Charles County. If I see some real deals, that I might pick up some more materials and if it's really good stuff.
Okay.
Get some of the $500 seminars that I can pick up for $3, and we'll put them out on the table for $5. Yeah. I'll donate them. My $5 worth.
Oh, appreciate that. So Lloyd, what you mentioned about what the board needs, I think we discussed it a couple of times, but people that are really savvy with social media. You mentioned the website.
Thank you. Okay. I'm just talking off the top of my head, Abraham. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't have a real big social media platform. I know, like we've had presenters talking about TikTok and Instagram and how they're all doing it. And we're probably going to have some more of that this month. Hearing how the McMiller brothers use Instagram for get the word out about their company, and they've got quite a following. So yeah, that would be another area looking for. In other words, we're looking for some younger folks. Jim and I.
Yeah, we don't do social media.
Yeah, so. I don't have a big social media presence, so don't even ask me. The only thing I'm on is LinkedIn, and I normally don't even respond to to request to join LinkedIn because I don't do anything on there. I'm only on there because my banker at New Frontier asked me to join. So, okay. Anybody got anything? Okay, yeah, John's got Melissa's contact information up there now. So let me write that down. 314 504 1581. Okay, that's one-way roofing. Thank you, John. I'm going to be contacting her myself. And I know, see, we got Stacy Lowe on here today with Soto Property Management. You want to introduce yourself? You're one of our sponsors. Soto Property Management is one of our sponsors. You want to introduce yourself to everybody, Stacy, and let them know what you could do to help out some landlords?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Stacy Lowe. I'm new with Soto Property Solutions. We are property managers. We're based out of Cape Girardeau, but we are growing in the St. Louis area. So St. Louis City and County, also some St. Charles County. We would love to manage your investment properties.
Okay. And you can find, I don't know if you want to put it in the chat now, you can put your contact information there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are on our website. You're one of our sponsors. You go to our STLREIA.com, and most any of the pages down the right-hand side sponsors, just click on vendors, sponsoring vendors, and you'll find Stacy's contact information there too.
Thank you.
No, thank you for being one of our sponsors. You know, I like it when you can join us here. I know David's on our fairly regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I would like to put this in. I'm not sure if I'm frozen or not. Can you all hear me?
We can hear you. Good.
Okay. So yeah, I mentioned earlier about a 3-2 that I have coming up soon. I am actively seeking other investors, possible partners in the deal, if that interests anyone. It's a 3-2. It's in North County. The ARV is 120, 125. And yeah, just if it sounds like something you're interested in, just call me out or text me. Either way, I'll put my number in the chat.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and also, what if you caught, I think when you were talking earlier about looking for a bank, we have Charles Grothin. He's at Lakeview Investments Strategy Company.com. That I think he does some lending. So I think he was putting himself out there as a potential source of financing for you.
Okay. And what did you say his name was?
Charles Grothin.
Okay.
LakeviewInvestmentStrategies.com looks like.
Lakeview Investment Strategies.
It's his website. Lakeview
All right.
Strategies. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Demetrius, it is in the chat. I think it's his information.
Yeah, it's in the chat. It was early on there. When you talked earlier, I forgot to mention that. He did put his contact in me. Yeah, he's offered up some financing for some folks in the past here. Okay, anybody else? Got anything for us? If not, I guess we can call it a wrap for today here. I appreciate everybody here joining us. Hope to see you. Let's see, we got one more Friday here next on the 12th, one more Friday before our major event on Tuesday the 16th. So if we don't see you next Friday here, hope to see you on the 16th with some Ted Drew's frozen custard. Glad to get it.
Yes, you have to show up in person to get the custard.
Yeah, we don't have that. We're gonna do virtually. We're gonna continue with our hybrid meetings on the Tuesday, the third Tuesday. But we don't deliver custard to anybody's door. You gotta be in person. That's in person only. So don't miss it. That's gonna be fun evening, especially if you had a chance to catch any of their the YouTube videos that I think I referred to one that KMOV TV did a interview with them back when their pilot came out back in February, but it's still out there. If you search My Flippin' Family, or KMOV TV, or KMOV, I think that's all you need. You can find a YouTube video out there where they interviewed him. They got some clips from their pilot, and yeah. Anyway, yeah, should be a fun evening, entertaining and enlightening too. They'll share some of their tips on what they do for their rehabs and how they're promoting them, how they're using social media too. So should be a good evening. Anyway, thank you all for coming. If we don't see you here next Friday, hope to see you on Tuesday the 16th. Take care all.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.